and continue listening to our presentation. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for making it. Some housekeeping before we get started on the presentation. So Marlon was asking if there's going to be slides. Yes, we prepared some slides, and I'll take you through the slides. There'll be a short demo of the actual product that Fred will do. I'm sure some of you have already connected and tried to use the product. If you haven't used a certain feature, maybe Fred can show you the feature today. So the demo will be part of the presentation as well. So the presentation along with the demo shouldn't take more than, say, 15 to 20 minutes. And after that, we'll leave the floor open for questions for you guys to ask any questions that you have. We'll stay till we take all the questions or till the time slot ends at 6 o'clock. Then we can all get out of here. Okay, let's get started then. So LinShare is made by LinAgora. So LinAgora as a company has existed for since 2000. We're around 4 continents. We're in Canada, Tunisia, France, Russia, and Vietnam. We are around 200 employees, plus or give or take. We're ranked at 131 in the Open Source Contributor Index. We are very proud of this because we are above like bigger open source companies like Nextcloud or Docker. Wire is another one that's not as high as we are ranked. So we're very active in the open source community. We want to generate more activity and contribution from the community as well. So that's an initiative that we're trying to push. We're proud to be open source, and we've been making open source products since 2000. So meanwhile, if you have any questions, guys, please feel free to type them, and Daria here can answer the questions, and Fred will take some questions as well while I'm giving the presentation. Let me introduce you to the team. So that's me who's speaking, Harsha. I'm the head of marketing here. We have Daria, who's the product marketing manager for LinShare. We have Fred, who's the product owner for LinShare. He's been with LinShare since it started around 2010, 2011. Right. So Fred has a long history with LinShare. He's worked with various clients. The difference is we've launched LinShare SaaS plan this year. So we want to introduce you to the SaaS product, easier to access, don't have to go through our sales cycle, and many other advantages. Martin is another product marketing manager. He's not going to join us today, but he'll take your questions offline later if you have any. So I'll share the contact info of all of us via email to you guys after, so that you can ask us questions that we can't answer today, for example. Okay, so let me start by giving a quick overview of what LinAgora is. LinAgora has been open source since 2000, so we have a 22-year history in the open source world. It's a French company. We're the French leaders in open source. We have offices internationally, but most of our client base is in France. We're trying to expand more in Europe and UK, so that's why we launched the SaaS offers to make this expansion easier, and scaling is also easier with SaaS. So that's one of the reasons we're here talking to you. We are open source. We are private by design. What does that mean? We try to, one of our value proposition is privacy and security of your data. We're a European company. We're based in Europe. Your data will be stored in Europe as well. I'll talk more about this in the upcoming slides. We are GAFAM and BATX free. So for those of you who don't know what GAFAM is, it's Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, and Microsoft. So the big American tech companies. Now, what's BATX? It's the big Chinese tech companies like Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent, and I'm not sure what X stands for, but one of the big Chinese tech. So the whole idea behind LinAgora is to provide users with the choice to not go with an American big tech company, which is driven by, let's say, capitalistic forces, or not go with a Chinese big tech company, which is driven by authoritarian forces. So we want to build a European ecosystem, tech ecosystem. The main goal for us is to provide users this alternative to other big tech companies out there, driven by open source, driven by ethical software design, driven by privacy and security, driven by European digital sovereignty. Our CEO, Alexander Zapolsky, has been very active in promoting these ideals for the last 20 years. We'll share more information moving forward with you about how we're active in this space and how we're providing you with this choice. What does good tech for good mean? So you've probably heard about Tech for Good. It's an international organization of tech companies trying to make sure that the tech that they produce is used for good. So we added a good on in front of that. We say we're making software which is good tech for good. What does that mean? We are contributing to the UN 17 Sustainable Development Goals to various initiatives. There's a website called fantasticenterprise.com. We'll share you this information after if you haven't looked at it already. Or in the emails that you get, if you click on the Good Tech for Good green lettering, you'll go to that website with more detail on what we're doing, what initiatives we're implementing in this space. Another pillar for this Good Tech for Good is we've pledged to go carbon neutral by 2025 and carbon free by 2030. There's more detail on the Fantastic Enterprise website on how we're implementing this. We've already started the foundation, considering various options on how to offset our carbon first, and then how to reduce our carbon emissions. So doing both initiatives to make sure we go carbon free. So that's the pillars of Good Tech for Good. We're also eGov expert. Now, this is not an official validation by any international organization, but we have history working with public organizations for the last 20 years. So we know how to work with them. We've had history, especially in the French public sector, also the European public sector. So one of LinShare's biggest clients is the European Parliament. So we've had experience working with public organizations. So what does LinAgora do? Apart from, you've heard about LinShare, maybe you've heard about Twake as well. So we're building different products. So the idea is to provide users with an alternative for American big tech or Chinese big tech for whatever solutions they're providing. So what does Twake do? So this is the open digital workplace. So it's a digital workplace driven by open source. So anything that you can do with, for example, Microsoft Teams or Google Workspace or Facebook Workspace or Slack, you can do with Twake, right? LinShare is the open source alternative to Google Drive or OneDrive or iCloud or Dropbox or Box or any other proprietary solutions that you could name. Linto is open source voice tech platform in its most simple sense. You could call it the open source voice assistant, but it can do a lot more than that, like voice transcriptions, translations, subtitles, closed captions, meeting notes, automation of various things. I'm not going to go into that today, but we'll let you know in future if you're interested how we're trying to bring Linto as a product. Right now, it's still in the research phase. Tmail, this is also a very exciting solution. It's a secure and sustainable email. So it's based on the JMAP protocol, which is the evolution of the current IMAP protocol that most of the email systems follow these days. It's supposed to be faster, more scalable, and energy efficient and secure. So that's why we call it the secure and sustainable email. We're launching an alpha soon, so we'll let you know when that's available. But today's focus is LinShare. That's what you're here for. So let's talk about LinShare. Okay, so LinShare's tagline, it is the open source alternative for Google Drive, but you can replace Google Drive with any proprietary solution. It's private and secure file sharing and cloud storage. Now we're fully compliant with GDPR. Now I know that any European business should be legally fully compliant with GDPR, but many are not. The compliance rate is around 34%. I think the latest study was done last year. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But we are compliant with GDPR. We are made and hosted in the EU. So I'll talk more about where we host our data and how that's important and why you should care about that. Okay, so if you store your data with Amazon or Microsoft, where is this data stored? It could be stored in Europe, or it could be stored in the US, or in Asian countries. Now, how does this affect your data privacy and data security? Let's say Microsoft decides to store half of your data in Europe, half of it in US. Now, you don't get a choice with that because they have data centers everywhere. And it's a gamble that the users are willing to take. The American government can legally request access to your private information under what they call as the Patriot Act, or the Cloud Act, I think is the other name. So your data is not guarded by any regulation. So legally, the American government can access your data, which could be an issue, especially if you have sensitive information, and which should be an issue for everyone, because your data should be theoretically owned by yourself and not be accessible to anyone else unless you give permission to. If you store your data with LinShare, a data center is in Strasbourg, on French soil, protected by the European Union's General Data Protection Regulation, the GDPR. So we cannot share or data mine your information, or we cannot share your information with anyone legally. We don't even have any backdoors into this. You can go check our code on GitLab to make sure that everything's fine. So this is one of our value propositions, that we're European, we're based in Europe, we are not subject to any of these external regulations. And if you're a European resident, legally, you should be protected by this. But most companies don't do that, and we do that. So this is one of the things that we take pride in. Okay, so to sum it up, LinShare is 100% open source. Our code is on GitHub. All your data is stored and secure on secure servers in the EU. I told you where it is. We are protected. So you are protected from the Cloud Act or the Patriot Act, both by the Americans, so they can access your data. We are trusted by the governments and banks, like I mentioned, like European Parliament is one of our clients. They have a private hosted instance, so it's not a public instance like the SaaS offer. The Ministry of Economy and Finance is as well a client of us. LCL Bank uses our solution for all of their users, which is in millions, I think. We are GDPR compliant, like I mentioned. So that's a quick sum up of like LinShare's value proposition, what we're trying to do, and why we launched LinShare on SaaS, even though the market is crowded with other cloud storage providers and file sharing providers. Okay, so let's jump into the product demo to make sure that we differentiate a little more than just on the value proposition side. From a feature perspective as well, we're a little different. We believe that we provide more value to the customers through the features. I will let Fred take over to give you a short demo. Fred, why don't you share your screen and you can start talking.
And maybe while preparing, guys, don't hesitate to already ask us questions. We can
take questions while
we're talking. Yeah. Be prepared.
Okay, so you should see my screen now. Okay, thank you, Arshad. So to present you quickly LinShare, I will present you the main feature of it. You should know that LinShare was designed at first to be able to exchange a very, very big file and to have some audit, so traceability of every action of LinShare. So the main goal was to easily share a file. So I pick up one file in my documents, 2 files, for example. As you can see, you have an upload bar to see the progress and an upload queue. So you're able to upload multiple files at the same time. As you can see, I pick 2 documents, so they are already selected. And so I'm able to share them directly with anyone I want. So for example, I will share it with my professional address. Okay. I can pick any recipient I want. The strength of LinShare is that you can share with people with an account here, so they will receive a share inside the application. And for people that doesn't have any account, they will receive a unique link per recipient to be able to download it without any authentication.
So Fred, what you're saying is you can share it with both internal users and external users who don't have a LinShare account at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah, right. It was the main feature of LinShare At first, it was designed, of course, to collaborate with all your colleagues, but then you always need to share file with some people outside the company.
That's perfect.
So you have tiny advanced feature like the expiration date, because LinShare was made in a way that you don't need to store documents for a very long time, or at least at first. So you're able to remove this share to have a control of how many days the document will be available for your recipient. You can of course provide some custom messages, custom email, tiny option like having some password protection on the link, some acknowledgement. So it's kind of useful if you want to receive an email with the list of the recipient and the list of documents you're about to share. So if you share it, you will see a notification. I should have shared with myself to show you, for example, when I receive a share from other users in the solution. Of course, in the free plan, you can't share with other people because you are the only one in your company. But if you upgrade to the paid plan, you will be able to create your own user and to start to share between each other. So as you can see, you receive the link with the creator of the sharing. You can see the activity, so if you have downloaded it or not, stuff like that.
This activities is a unique feature too, I think, right? Which maybe some of the other solutions won't provide. You can track where the file came from, where it went, what time.
Exactly. This is the more advanced feature of LinShare that the other company doesn't have. If I download the file to create a stone, yeah, okay. If I go back in my space, for example, I can go back to the document I shared. So I can see, of course, the recipient. I can see that Harsha downloaded 2 times. I have not downloaded yet, of course. And you can see this audit I was talking about. So you see every download, every share you made with this document. So it's very useful because you know when your recipient will download the document.
Let me give you a quick use case for this. Let's say you're a salesperson. You share the sales poster with a potential client.
Mm-hmm.
You can see when this client downloaded this poster and immediately contact them saying, "Hey, I see that you downloaded the poster. What do you think about it?"
Exactly. As a matter of fact, it works both ways. It means sometimes customers say, yeah, I've read your documentation. And you saw he never downloaded it. So it's very interesting to see when people read it or if they don't.
Yeah, fair enough.
So this is the basic feature of LinShare, being able to share file. On the SaaS offer, if I'm right, we limit the size of a file to 20 gigabytes. But on paid plan, you can upload the file bigger than that. We have a very performant upload process, so it's very sweet to upload big file.
So if you're a graphic designer or a video creator or something.
Yeah, for example, we use LinShare with, I don't remember the company, but she was handling films, very good film, around 50 gigabytes.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
is there a limit on the size of a single file that you can upload?
Technically, no, it's just a limit that we set on the server, because of course we have to size the server to accept this kind of data, but the software can be able to accept a lot more. Okay, so there is no limit.
No, except the storage.
Right? Except the actual storage that you pay for.
Yeah, indeed. But it's just a logical limit.
Yeah, fair enough.
So this main feature is more to exchange document, for example, for one shot. And if you are more interested to be able to store document and exchange on a more long term, you can create what we call a workspace. You can see a workspace like, I don't know, your business unit, your team. So to make it simple, I will call it team LinShare. Once I created this team LinShare, I'm able to add other user in this group. I don't have any other user in this company, so I can't add add more user here to show you how it works. But what you can see is that Arsha by default is a workspace administrator, so he is able to manage every feature of this workspace. You have the workspace writer and reader. The writer is the person who will be able to create work groups inside it, so I will present you just after. And the reader is just somebody that will access in read-only mode to the data. So if I go in this workspace, I'm able to create, for example, a work group. I like to present work group like a project, for example. So yeah, I should have called it project 1, for example, because a project is a bit obvious. Okay, project 1. For this project, it means that if I look at the member, everybody from the workspace will be added automatically here. And then you will be able to add some external people like guests. So it's people that belong to your company because you had it in the Twig SaaS, find the SaaS offer, but doesn't belong as a co-worker. It's just more like a customer.
So a guest could be anyone.
Exactly. Exactly. And so you can add these people with different rights. So the reader, of course, is only a read-only access. You can give him the right to upload file by contributor or create folder. The writer is also able to upload, but you have also the right to delete this document. And the administrator will be able to manage the member and the data. We have in LinShare a lot of option. It could be how can I say too much sometimes, but it allows you to have very fine tuning, fine access to all your data. So you have a very strict control of who is accessing what, and you have also in this area the activity, so you are able to see the data who was added. So for example, if I go in this project, I will upload, I will create a new folder. In this folder, I can upload some files. Same thing. Of course, LinShare support a drag and drop option if you want to. You can even drag a folder with folder in it, and LinShare will recreate all the tree with all the file. Of course, if you drop a folder with thousands of folders and file in it, it may take some time, but it will work. Just give LinShare a bit of time to do it.
Sure.
So if you go to the history, like I said, up, I go back, I can see that I have some activity. So I see everything that was done in the work group. Something which people are not aware of, it's kind of interesting. I will try to upload the same file to show you something. SaaS onboarding, for example.
You're trying to show the version history.
Yeah, exactly. So I uploaded the same file with the same name. Instead of renaming the file with a number at the end, which could be sometimes a bit painful, LinShare detects this is the same file name, so automatically it will create what we call a version of this document. So if you click on Manage Version, you will see that I just created a new version of the document. So it is quite convenient when you're working on a document and you want to push update to your colleague without losing the track of the modification you made. You can push the document without trying to find a unique name with some.
It'll save some time. It'll save a couple of minutes, right?
Exactly. And of course, you can download each file and see some thumbnail at the same time, of course. Okay, so this feature is very designed to collaborate with multiple people. So you can create any folder you want. You can create any project you want in this workspace, and of course, you can create any workspace you want.
Great. Maybe you want to show the upload request
Yes.
feature. That's a new feature that you rolled out. We rolled out a couple
Yeah,
of months ago. So
yeah, it was present in the version 1 of LinShare, and we implemented last year in LinShare again. To present the upload request is quite simple. When you're sharing a document, you select a document, you share it with the recipient, and the recipient receive a link to download this document. The upload request is quite the opposite.
it's exactly the reverse, maybe, right?
Exactly. You will send a link to this recipient. For example, I will send a link to myself. And then I need to fill the subject, so demo, for example.
Okay.
I will receive a link toward a new portal that allowed me to upload some files.
So you click on the link and you can upload a file, and the person who sent this upload request will know that, will get a notification saying, hey,
exactly,
Fred uploaded the file that you requested for, go take a look.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So if you go in the upload request, you can see it is active, and then you will see my name, my email. If I add multiple recipients, you will see them there. And of course, when you click on the detail, you will see the file I uploaded. There is plenty of option here for the upload request. I won't go in detail for them because I will need a lot of time to do it. But you have to know that you can define a lot of options. For example,
collective upload.
Yeah, you have some option like the size of the deposit, the size of each file, the date where the recipient will receive a reminder.
You can automate it.
Automated.
You could probably like pretend that you're working. So maybe you take a Friday off. You set up the upload request to send an email out on a Friday afternoon. Yeah. And this person will get this email saying, get some work done while I'm gone.
Exactly. You can say, yeah, on the 1st of April, I'm expecting from you that you send me a document. So I create the invitation. And the 1st of April, it will be activated. And you will receive a mail. Hey, I'm waiting a document. And that's all. It's very convenient when the people you're working with doesn't have any solution to exchange big file. Because this file will be stored in your personal accounts.
So you don't have to go on your team messaging system and ask for a reminder or whatever. They have the email, they have the deadline, they know what you're looking for.
Exactly.
All they have to do is get the work done.
And you don't have to create any account.
And as I remember that you receive notification about the deadline, so meanwhile you will never forget about that.
Yeah, on the portal, I don't have the link there, but on the portal you can see every criteria, the size of the file, the opening date, the end date. You can close the upload request when you feel that you accomplish your task, and the sender will receive a notification saying, hey, the recipient has closed the upload request, so now you can you can see the document he uploaded.
Maybe at the end of the presentation, you could show the portal. While I talk, you can open the portal.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. You want to show the activity log real quick, and then we could move on.
The activity log, yeah, it's quite simple. It's all the trace I showed you during the demo.
Screen, right?
It's just the global view of every traces because it's quite nice to have them in one place. But of course, and if you go in each feature and you go on each resources, you will find traces related to these resources.
Okay, perfect. Okay, one thing before I forget, maybe you want to show the console as well, just to.
I don't have access to the console.
If you click on the settings, where would you go?
I will go. Maybe.
There we go. So our team in Vietnam developed this console where you can edit your information, add more people to your team, go to billings and subscriptions, change the membership, pick the plan that you want, change the language and all these things. I think Tuan is online who is the project manager for this solution. But yeah, we're very proud of our team in Vietnam who's working on this. Okay, so let's maybe move on. I'll take charge back.
I think before we're moving forward, it would be good if Fred can reply the question that we received from Marlon.
Okay.
It's actually a very good question. It's regarding this unique link that you're sending to the user, for example, who doesn't have an LinShare account. So if the user receives this email with the link, can he or she share this link with someone else, or it's already won't be possible?
He can share it, but we will see that the link was used many times by this person. Usually, you download the document once or twice. If the link was shared with a lot of person, you will see that you have 20, 30 downloads.
Yeah.
So you know that this is this person that click the link.
Because you know who you sent the link to, and if there's other people downloading or the same person downloading many times, you could.
Yeah, you can spot that.
You can spot it in the activity log.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. There we go. Okay, I'll take the presentation back. And so you saw the demo. These are all the features that Fred mentioned, the notifications. We didn't mention the email sharing plugin, but that's the self-hosted versions feature. He talked about the upload request. We have the data control and activity log. You could collaborate mainly on the paid plans because you need to add people, your team members to collaborate. But even on the free plan, you could kind of collaborate with external users by upload requests, especially. That's a form of collaboration. We have secured uploads. We didn't talk about the support at LinAgora. We have an amazing support team. In fact, most of our revenue is generated by this support team. They not only support open source products that are developed by LinAgora, but open source products developed by anyone. So we're using the same support team for LinShare as well. So if you have any technical issues, this team would be online to help you with it. Okay, let's. This is the last part of the presentation. Let's see what's coming to LinShare. You saw the current features. Let's see what's coming in future. The first thing that we're working on is file encryption. Now we call LinShare secure, private, and secure. It is private and secure in many ways, but it also needs file encryption, which is the most important feature that's requested by the community that tested LinShare so far. So Fred is actually actively working currently on file encryption. We'll roll it out as soon as possible, potentially in Q2. So yeah, that's the first major feature that we're working on. The second one is the desktop app. We are aware that most of our competition in the market has a desktop app. This is something, desktop file sync, especially if you have a folder on your desktop, you want to automatically connect it to LinShare and have every file that you stored on this desktop folder sync to storage in LinShare. And I personally used to use a while ago Dropbox to do this. Put a folder on and link it to Dropbox, and everything that I drop in this folder, it's automatically on the cloud, right? So this is the next big feature that we're working on. The third one is OnlyOffice integration. Now, OnlyOffice is an open source product, which is open source alternative for Microsoft Office Suite, for example, or Google Docs. We want to provide free integration to OnlyOffice via LinShare. So if you share a Word document on a shared workspace in LinShare, for example, all the users in this shared space should be able to access this document, edit this document, and have these edits possible according to your rights. So that's another thing that we're working on. We are planning on rolling these 3 out this year. From a product perspective, from a user management or access perspective, we want to add 2-factor authentication. This is another feature that will make our product more secure and private. It is, I'm sure like most of you know what 2-factor authentication is. You need another device and there'll be a code generated. You need to insert this code to log in. So improving the security. Push notifications is another thing that we want to work on. So currently we have notifications via email, right? Another thing that we could do is notifications via the app itself. That's something that the team will be working on, especially on the mobile. It becomes more visible. The last thing is the Twig integration. I've introduced Twig as the open source digital workplace. so we are building. Twig is an ecosystem of these open source products that will make your productivity, enhance your productivity, and you can do anything and everything that you want from an office perspective or a personal perspective using these open source products, and not going with American big tech or Chinese big tech. To make that possible, so the first thing that we did was develop a team communication and collaboration tool, so similar to Slack or Microsoft Teams. Now we want to add LinShare to it to position opposed to the OneDrive, for example, for Microsoft Teams. So like if you can have LinShare for Twig. Twig comes with some storage, but when we integrate LinShare into Twig, your storage capabilities are increased 10 times for free in the free plan. We are also integrating Tmail and Linto, these other products that I introduced you, into the Twig ecosystem as well. So eventually we'll just be the Twig open source digital workplace with different products within this umbrella. That's what's coming up this year. We have some good news for you guys. If you want to upgrade to the paid plan, we have this coupon code called LS Webinar. We'll share this coupon code with you via email as well after, to everyone who attended the webinar. And you can use this to get a 25% discount on our paid plans. So that's some good news for you. And that's it. I'll end this presentation, and we'll stay online to take any questions that you might have. I see some questions are coming in. So yeah, let's wait for them. Yes, thanks, Andy. Daria, I'll let you answer the questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Andy, for the question. Yeah, of course, we do have mobile application. It's available for iOS and of course Android. You can use it for sharing files and see what's going on, and well as the web application as well.
So yeah, we have the web app and the mobile app. The missing piece is the desktop app, which we are planning on launching soon.
Yeah, and the mobile app is a native one, so it's very, very fast. Yeah, it's very sweet to use, and you can find every feature that you have in the web view in the mobile app.
Yes. Yeah, I have to say our mobile team based in Vietnam has worked really good on this, and it's a pretty robust mobile app. It's been online for a while. We have it on SaaS as well. So
they did an amazing work.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Andy.
Any more questions, guys? Maybe more technical related, since we have Fred here. We should take advantage of that.
I gotta say, thanks for making time for this.
Yeah,
Fred, I know it's not natural for tech people to mingle with marketing people, but you did a good job, so thanks for that. Okay, so we have a question here.
Yeah, so do we plan to translate LinShare interface in other languages than English? Yes, of course. For already now, the LinShare interface available in English, in French, and in Vietnamese and Russian as well. And that's not that hard and long, I think, to translate it to other languages. So it's pretty native, I think, and automatic. So I guess you're interested into Italian, so we can think about it, and it should be available pretty soon because we have Italian speaking in our company.
As a matter of fact, I was contacted by an Italian guy a few weeks ago, and he asked me the same thing, and he was proposing to help us to contribute for the Italian language. So he already started to work on this. He provided some materials. We need to review it and validate it. But I hope we'll be able to provide the Italian version for the interface at least very soon.
So you could be our first actually users who will experience that. It would be very great.
Yeah, don't we have a dashboard? I'm looking for the dashboard to show the language, because we use something called Weblate.
LinShare doesn't use yet Weblate.
Okay.
Yeah, our structure is not yet tied to this tool. We need to work on that. We have a specific structure. In a matter of fact, we anticipate, because a long time before Weblate, we already have a structure that allows us to create as many languages as we want.
Okay.
Even if you are not part of the project and you don't know how to contribute, you can duplicate the existing folder language and try by your own
Is there a guide how people can do this?
I
something that we could
think
work
there
on?
is something in line because I sent the link to the Italian guy and it seems he succeeds. He
Okay.
succeed with that. So yeah, I can find the link and send you after this meeting.
Okay.
Yes. Thanks for that, Gabriel. We don't expect you to spend time translating, working for us, but yeah, in case the open source community is interested, it should be nice to share that guide.
Also, I think the next question is for you, Fred. Will there be access via Webdav as well?
No, we don't plan to support Webdav. We plan to support our own protocol to do some synchronization between the desktop app and the server.
Can you maybe put some context on what Webdav is and how can we?
Webdav is a HTTP protocol to be able to browse some storage online.
Okay.
It's a very old protocol, and it is used by a lot of different products, but it's old. As Andy said, there is a lot of security issue. There is some scaling issue. Performance is quite complicated when you have a lot of data with Webdav. So we made a choice to not use this.
So what do we use?
We will use the API of LinShare itself with the desktop client, and it will do the job.
All right, there we go.
We can see Webdav client as a generic desktop app to be able to browse remotely the content of the server, but it doesn't provide you any feature to synchronize or stuff like that. Just to browse, and we want to go further to be able to synchronize a folder of your computer with LinShare.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Thanks for explanation.
All right. So the next question. Thank you for the question, David. So, do the emails sent come from LinShare or own account? That is the reply address ours or yours? So usually the LinShare notification, as I remember, comes from LinShare, like LinShare address, and you cannot reply to them back. But in any case, in this email, you can see who is the sender, and like usually you have like this person in your list, and like you communicated with this person, so you definitely know the email.
It depends on the notification. For example, when you receive a sharing, of course the sender will be LinShare, but the reply to, so the person you will reply if you do it, will be the sender.
All right.
So for most of notification, we implement that, so you can answer directly by mail to the person that sent you a share.
So it's okay, and there is no problem. You always stay in touch.
Not I'm aware of.
Okay. All right. So if you want to stay in contact with the person or people with who you're sharing, so they can reply to you, and it won't be any problem. All right. Any more questions? Okay, they're coming in.
They're coming. Good. Dave was asking if we can have more than one email address.
For sharing?
Is it for sharing?
He's typing. Let's see.
Thank you, John.
Thanks,
really
John.
Appreciate it.
Don't make shade.
We'll take the love.
Yes, for sharing.
For sharing, yeah, of course. There is no limit about the recipient, so you can share with as many people as you want.
No, I think it's the other way around. If you can have like your, as a sender, if you can have different emails.
Multiple identity? No, it's one account, one identity. So if you have another email, if you want to use it, you have to create another account.
Okay. Well, I believe, yeah, you can use different accounts, but you share from one email that's attached to this account. Okay. Is it? Did you understand well your question?
Yeah, I was looking for crypto matter. No, It is not planned for yet. It seems to be an interesting solution. Since we are studying encryption, I will try to have a look on this.
Maybe it'll make our work easier. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting. Thanks, Em.
Why not? We will have a look and we will keep you posted.
All right. So we have a bit more time for more questions.
Is John McClane like your real name, or is an alias for Bruce Willis from Die Hard?
Yeah, in Die Hard there is no I, but I think it is.
There's no I.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
This is why I was laughing.
Maybe.
Maybe, all right. Yippee-ki-yay. I'm not gonna say the next one.
No, exactly.
Good question. No, we don't have Discord channel yet, Marlon. If we have more members as we scale up, that would be really interesting to open.
Yeah.
Do we have a forum?
We use GitHub as quite a forum, so people then can ask questions, report bugs. So yeah, we use GitHub for that,
and it works for now.
Yeah, we have a lot of recent activity these days.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of person asking questions about the software, about technical aspect, or feature request, stuff like that.
Yeah. We can share this link in the email after the webinar. I think this question could be.
There we go. Andy shared it.
Andy did it. So thank you,
Andy. Fred, maybe you can explain why it's not possible to have like two identities, let's say, in a LinShare company account.
Was it for? So one parent company, but two trading name, and therefore email. It's interesting. It's more the way the console was built.
Maybe it's a question for Tuan. I know it's late in Vietnam. That's something that we could consider, maybe, right, as a feature if people are using.
I know you can open two company with two different email, but I don't know.
I don't know if you can have two emails with one company. It's the other way around.
Yeah, you can have. You can belong to multiple company.
Yeah,
but
Tuan's typing, so let's see what he says. Oh, so we don't know what AG-ID Cloud Marketplace is. Maybe that's something that we should
explore. Yeah.
Explore, yeah. Thanks, Gabriel. We'll look into it. One thing that we did look into is launching the mobile app in open source marketplaces.
Yeah.
I forgot the names, but there's two app stores.
It could be the Italian cloud.
F-Droid, I think that's something that we looked into.
But we can explore the situation with this cloud marketplace, and if it's not complicated to be there, why not?
Like thanks for the tip, Gabriel. Yeah, that's a helpful tip. Thank you.
Yeah, for now.
No, we will consider to have. Okay, maybe that's something we can talk about in the next tech meeting.
Okay, yes. To reply for the few identities in one company, it's not possible now, but thank you for the idea. We'll discuss this opportunity for the future development.
Yeah. I mean, public sector, Gabriel, it is our target market. We have plenty of experience in France. So, and we are looking into, we surprisingly, in the last 3 months, we're getting a lot of leads from Italy. I'm not sure how the word got out. We were at the Mobile Web Congress. We made some connections there. I don't know how else people found out about it. Business France was trying to promote us within Italy. So maybe you've heard about us through them. So yeah, like we are looking into getting into the Italian market. In Germany as well, I know there's a mandate for companies to move away from Microsoft or Google and use more. There's a law, I think, that you need to use European tech companies for certain things for public institutions, especially educational institutions. So we're getting a lot of leads from there as well. Thanks, Rudolph. Yeah, they have the money to lobby.
Oh, it's everywhere, no?
Everywhere. That's why we need to create our own European digital sovereign tech ecosystem.
Exactly. That's why we're here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good exercise to like get like ideas and feedback from the community on what features we should be working on. For example, the thing that David mentioned, 2 emails, we didn't even like think about it. I don't know if other solutions provide it, but now it's not a.
We can even use GitHub to create and propose some feature, and then to ask people to vote for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For example.
Also, you always can contact us by email, for example, helpdesk@linshare.app, or you can also on the application contact us on support chat, because usually we're following it and we can reply your questions, even if it's not like problem or bug related. We usually checking it and trying to help you in any sense. Well, thank you for coming and listening.
Thanks, David. Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you,
everyone.
guys.
I think we should end it. I think we're done with all the questions.
Just I will share our email.
Maybe best to like we'll send a follow-up email with the recording too.
Yeah.
Or a link for the recording at least, because it's a 1-hour recording. The slides and some of the highlights from the presentation on the questions, features, etc.
Yes, of course. Don't worry, you won't miss it. All information will be later available for you.
All right. Ciao, ciao.
Thank
Bye.
you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.